guys, I just watched the fourth episode of 20th Century Fox's and Marvel's The Gifted series, and I love this episode. This episode was really good. I think this episode was a little bit better than last episode, so let's talk about it. So, this episode starts with another flashback, weirdly, like we got from last episode, but this time it's with Thunderbird and a new character called Pulse, and it sort of shows how this sort of mutant underground, they go to attack the Sentinel services, and obviously this is in the past, so they don't have much technology, but they have like basic technology, and this sort of shows off this new character Pulse's sort of powers in a way, because you can like manipulate like fields of power and stuff, so it like messes with like lights and like electronic guns and stuff. It was like a really cool scene. But he actually dies in this scene, and we'll get back to that later. So then the episode sort of does another time shift to the present day, which is obviously 2 years from that point, 2 years ago. And it's sort of, this whole episode sort of a reflection on that flashback, because the whole crew are trying to get Lorna and Reed back, and they find out through the Mexican cartel that they're getting sort of transported on a convoy, like an armored convoy like you see in movies and stuff. And they find this out by the cartel, as I just mentioned, because Eclipse goes to see one of his ex-girlfriends, and she's like the daughter of like the biggest cartel member. And I didn't really like her character, I have to be honest. She was like really annoying and really weird, and she like still has feelings for him, even though he's trying to save Polaris, and we find out later in the episode that he broke up with her to go leave with Polaris, and I thought that was a bit awkward. But there was a cool scene where he's interrogating this guy, and he's using like the light in his hand, and he nearly like blinds the guy. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, basically they do this sort of, it's like, as I said, it's like a reflection on the flashback at the start, and they break out Polaris and Reed. And there's a really cool scene where we find out that Pulse isn't actually dead, and he's the one that's stopping all the mutant powers, because when they try and break Polaris and Reed out, no one can use their powers. And they find out that this Pulse guy is like under like mind control, sort of. They didn't really explain it too much. They could have done a little bit of a better job with that, but when they knock him out, everyone gets their powers back. And there's a really cool scene where Polaris is in like this like cell in the truck with Reed, and she takes out like the metal pins in his leg, because he like broke his leg as a kid. And she like, because obviously she's the daughter of Magneto, she like, this guy goes to check on them, and she sends it flying through his neck. And I thought that was really cool. And yeah, just like the whole twist with Pulse and the action scene at the end, this episode was great. It really was, to be honest with you guys. And the whole thing with Blink and Thunderbird, their relationship, how she's been mind controlled to think that she's in love, that's going really well as well. But the number one question for me is Polaris's baby still alive? Hopefully, because obviously she's safe and sound now. Hopefully they go through that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, guys. I have to say, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5. An 8 to an 8.5. I really like this episode. This episode was very, very good. But yeah, hopefully the next episode is just as good. I'm really enjoying this series. But what did you guys think of the Gifted series? If you've already watched it, let me know down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.